Hi, I'm Bill Law, and I'm the president at Tallahassee Community College. First, let me express my thanks to the committee for your early support of my candidacy. It's very rewarding to know that the things that we're doing here at Tallahassee Community College are of interest to those of you who are looking across America for the very best practices. I'm easy to describe. I'm a passionate educator. I've had the good chance to be president at 3 community colleges, and I've moved each time to seek new challenges and new opportunities where I can enhance my career and bring my talents to bear on institutions that can benefit from that. If you walk across campus at Tallahassee Community College and ask about Bill Law, it won't take long till people tell you about our focus on students. We're doing everything in our power to remove barriers for student success, to be sure that students have all the support they need, both in class and especially out of class, to achieve their goals. Each of our students has an individualized learning plan, and we want them to own their own education in partnership with us. Secondly, it won't take long until you hear about our commitment to strategic planning. That is, I think it's important for everybody at the institution to be part of the processes that are driving our efforts. We have a very effective strategic plan developed with faculty, students, staff input, adopted by our board, and it's giving us great guidance as we move forward, even in these tough times. For faculty, the dialogue would be our efforts on articulation. The challenges to make sure that our students can move on to the university system are as great as they've ever been. Demands for increased accountability by the accrediting agencies are at the highest level I've ever experienced in my career. We can meet those needs, but we can't do them if we're not all working together, focused on a common goal. I think you can feel my passion. I love what I do. I hope I have a chance to get with you in St. Pete and share additional ideas. Thank you so much.
St. Petersburg College has established itself as a leader among the community colleges in Florida in the addition of baccalaureate programs. What is your reaction to this addition?
You know, I was living in Texas. I was working in Texas when I read that St. Pete, then junior college, had decided to take on a new venture and go into the baccalaureate education business. And my first reaction was, there they go again. This is a college that over a long period of time has served its community by being creative, self-directed, being innovative in creating new programs and opportunities for their students. It works like a charm, and more power to you. The college has done a great job implementing those programs. I was quite impressed with the work that was done to assess the needs in the community and to build support between elected, educational, and other civic officials to get those programs off the ground. When I got to Tallahassee, I asked the Faculty Senate to make a special review and to give me their best guidance as to what the potential might be here in the state capitol. Not surprisingly, they pointed out some real benefits to baccalaureate education, but they also pointed out that in our community, where we have 2 major universities, it wasn't the most important need for any of us to embark on. So we've put it off to the side for now while we work on some other workforce programs. I think the truth be told, though, all of us will be in the baccalaureate business as we go forward. Florida needs additional, well-trained baccalaureate-level personnel if indeed we're going to compete in the knowledge-based society that all of us face. So once again, I think congratulations to St. Pete College for leading the way, and the rest of us will follow along, happily learn from the lessons that you folks have taught us.
During the current national recession, many creative ideas and leadership have emerged. What have you done in your institution or organization to ensure the protection of the values that you consider to be most important?
Well, there's no doubt we're in the toughest times any of us have ever faced. And I know that every day I'm calling on my 30 years experience at the state level as a former member of the legislative staff and most importantly as a college president at 3 institutions to craft the kinds of plans that help us meet the needs of our students in these tough times. The most important thing we did, however, is at the very beginning of the process, several years ago, we developed a set of values, a small number of points of guidance so that throughout the process we would keep in front of us what is the most important. We did that with the faculty and staff. We processed that so everybody had an understanding. We took it to the Board of Trustees. They adopted it, and we still use it today to guide our discussions about where the next cuts might have to come. It has served us enormously well. Secondly, one of those values has been to include everybody in the process. So I meet regularly with the Classified Staff Council. They help us identify ways that we can continue to serve students even where we've reduced vacant positions. They've been particularly helpful in helping us identify ways in which we can change processes to meet those needs. Faculty have been just as proactive in helping us craft an academic schedule that meets student needs so students can continue to register even in the face of reduced availability of funds for the instructional programs. So that has worked like a charm for us to keep everybody engaged in the process. Lastly, I think it's important to cite the contribution of the Board of Trustees. On 2 occasions, we've asked them to keep us afloat by taking some money out of our fund balance, our rainy day fund. We did that to allow us to continue to implement our Learning Commons, a massive out-of-class support program that we have under one roof for all students, and then secondly, a way that we could buy out people in the drop program for their last 2 years, letting them retire a little bit earlier and giving us then a vacant position to make a decision on. It looks like that program, in fact, will save us about $500,000 in next year's budget, and quite frankly, after 3 years of cuts, it's really hard to find $500,000 pools of money to take the next round of cuts. We're not out of the woods yet by any stretch of the imagination, but at TCC, everybody's involved, everybody understands, and our values-based cuts will help us address future challenges in funding that we know are on the horizon.
A prominent part of St. Petersburg College's mission is equal opportunity for students and employees. Tell us what you have done at your institution or organization that demonstrates such a commitment.
Well, I'm really glad to have the opportunity to address this area. It's the topic that I think we have great success, and in fact, I'd like to brag a little bit. TCC has the highest percentage of African American students of any of Florida's state colleges or community colleges. In fact, the semester that just started, 36% of our students are African American, and that's the fastest growing population of any of our student groups. We were early on invited in to the national program for the Lumina Foundation, Achieving the Dream. That program was intended to narrow the gap of performance between students of color and white students. And our efforts led us to review all of the support that we are giving our students, enhance the parts that are working best, and change or get rid of the parts that weren't working at all. I think more importantly, it allowed us to focus on professional development for all of us, to be sure that we understood, really understood, the challenges necessary to meet the needs of all students. Really proud to say that on behalf of our efforts, Lumina Foundation highlighted us with the cover story in their national magazine a little over a year ago, and just last year created a special national award to recognize the efforts that took place at Tallahassee Community College. I need to say as a president, the thing that makes me feel best is that when the work being done by our faculty and staff, day in, day out for our students is recognized, I feel like I have done my job the best I can. Well, the real challenge of these short videos is to express the perfect balance between the role of the president, my leadership, and the spectacular work that is being done every day by our faculty and staff on behalf of our students. I'm very proud of all that we're doing in Tallahassee, but I certainly didn't do the hard work. I stand in awe of the work that happens on behalf of each of our students every day. Working at TCC is a privilege. We have a long history of service to our community, and I think people genuinely appreciate all of the things we do. I know that through our efforts, our star is as high in the sky as it has ever been. And I think that's my interest at St. Pete. I think the stars are aligned. I think St. Pete finds itself where it's searching for a president for the first time in decades. And I think they have the opportunity to select from the best in America. I'd like to think that our stars are aligned, that my talent, background, preparation, and yes, my personality is something that can add to the future challenges faced by St. Pete College. I know that working together, we can do great things for the people of Pinellas County. Thanks so much. I look forward to having the chance to meet with you.